This is an NBC News special report. Here's Lester Holt.
Good day, everyone from New York. We're coming on the air with breaking news regarding that Ukrainian airliner that crashed in Iran early Wednesday morning, killing at least 176 people. A U.S. official tells NBC News that intelligence evidence suggests the plane was mistakenly shot down by Iranian anti-aircraft missiles. NBC's Tom Costello has late details from our Washington newsroom. Tom?
Lester, you may recall that this happened just hours after the Iranians were launching missiles at U.S. bases in Iraq. At 6:12 a.m. early in the morning, this Ukrainian Airlines plane was taking off from Tehran International Airport. It was in the air for less than 2 minutes before it suddenly went black. It went dark at 7,900 feet. This video, according to the people who watched it, show a plane that seems to be on fire, streaking across the sky and then plunging to the earth. All 176 people on board killed. Now, U.S. sources suggest that U.S. intelligence has picked up indications that this was, in fact, an Iranian-fired missile that brought down this passenger plane, that it likely was a mistake. And the thinking is this. The Iranians had been on edge, anticipating the possibility of a U.S. counterattack, of a retaliatory strike. And so they had these anti-aircraft missile batteries in place outside of Tehran. Did one of those missile batteries mistake this passenger plane for an incoming threat? That seems to be now what U.S. intelligence has come to the conclusion of, because U.S. intelligence has concluded that, in fact, Iranian missile or missiles brought down this passenger plane.
All right, Tom Costello, thanks very much. The president was asked about this just a few minutes ago. Let's go to Peter Alexander at the White House. Peter?
Yeah, Lester, that's exactly right. Obviously, the president was speaking to reporters moments ago, was pressed about the circumstances behind this, and he detailed his suspicions about what may have happened in the skies above Tehran. Take a listen to President Trump within the last few minutes.
Mr. President, the plane that went down yesterday from Iran, what do you think happened to that plane?
Well, I have my suspicions.
What are those?
It was very, I don't want to say that because other people have those suspicions also. It's a tragic thing. When I see that, it's a tragic thing. But somebody could have made a mistake on the other side. Could have made a mistake. It was flying. It was flying in not our system. No, it has nothing to do with us. It was flying in a pretty rough neighborhood, and somebody could have made a mistake. Some people say it was mechanical. I personally don't think that's even a question, personally. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't want to that's up to them. At some point, they'll release the black box. Ideally, they'd get it to Boeing, but if they gave it to France or if they gave it to some other country, that would be okay, too. I think, ideally, that will be released. I have a feeling that it's just something very terrible happened. Very devastating.
Mr. President,
yeah.
That was President Trump speaking here with the White House within the last several minutes, Lester, and it's notable that he viewed this, at least as suspicion, is that this was a mistake because, of course, we heard from the president yesterday in comments trying to seek to de-escalate the tensions between the United States and Iran, saying that he believed it seemed that Iran was trying to stand down in terms of this conflict with the United States. His viewing it as a mistake would suggest there was no reason to re-escalate tensions here. You'll remember that President Trump and some of his aides here have effectively praised the fact that Iran targeted military targets and not civilians, and that there were no casualties there. Lester?
All right, Peter Alexander with late word there from the White House. Let's go to Tehran now. NBC Bureau Chief Ali Arouzi is there. Ali, how is this story being reported in Tehran?
Hi, Lester. Well, the Iranians, since the beginning, when this news broke out and there were suspicions that this may have been taken down by a rocket or a bomb, have been denying it vociferously. They were saying that this was an accident, that they saw the plane trying to turn back and return to the airport, and they saw the plane was on fire. Undoubtedly, the next messages from the Iranians are going to be that the United States is trying to frame Iran for something it didn't do in this back and forth back-and-forth blame game between these two countries. But as Tom pointed out, Iran was launching attacks that night on U.S. assets. They were on a state of very, very high alert. And the Ukrainians are also, Ukrainian security officials are saying that they suspect that that possibly the rocket that hit the plane was Russian-made. Of course, the Iranians here buy most of their defense systems from the Russians, so that's going to add to the confusion about what's going on. The Iranians are also saying that why would they take down a plane carrying 83 Iranians, amongst them some of their most cherished university students. But the U.S. is indicating that this may have been an accident because Iran was on such high alert during the time of those attacks, and somebody may have mistakenly fired an anti-aircraft missile at the plane.
All right, Ali Arouzi with a view for us from Tehran. Let's go back now to Tom Costello. Tom, in terms of what we're seeing, the images from the ground, are any of the experts you're talking to pinpointing anything that's been seen in the wreckage that would, again, point to this notion that it was a missile?
So two areas to look at. First of all, that nighttime video that we've shown for the last 24 hours or so, showing that streak of fire going across the night sky. Now, every aviation source I've talked to in the U.S. says that is entirely too much fire coming from what would have been maybe a single engine explosion. No, they say this would suggest a missile strike, because a single engine on fire would never put out that amount of fire. Separately, there are reports from the ground in Tehran that there have been fragments of a Russian missile head, or fragments of a Russian missile found on the ground. We've not been able to independently confirm or substantiate that.
All right, Tom Costello, thank you. We know you'll continue to report this story. We'll have full details when we see you tonight on NBC Nightly News. For now, I'm Lester Holt, NBC News, New York. Good day.